Welcome to Koltkast, where Cindy and her amazing guests dive deep into topics that matter to everyone. From insightful conversations to thought-provoking discussions, we cover it all with a fun twist. Whether it's personal stories or expert knowledge, you'll leave feeling inspired. So sit back, relax, and get ready for today's episode. And now, please welcome to the stage your host, Cindy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cindy, your host, and welcome to episode 4 of Koltkast. Today, we have an amazing duo joining us, Goddess and DJ. They're here to share their experiences and educate us about cerebral palsy. If you look at the ends of your seats, you'll see a card with their Cash App, YouTube, and Facebook details, and they'll be sharing more about that during today's podcast, and we hope you take the time to check it out. We're excited to have them here. If not already, please like and save the world, and subscribe to us on YouTube at Koltkast. We hope you enjoy today's episode. Well, hello, Goddess and DJ. How are you today?
Hello. We're good, thank you.
We're good, thank you.
Oh, good.
Glad to be here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for coming. If you wouldn't mind, if we get started, I would like to know, a little bit about y'all and what CP is, if we can educate some people on what CP is.
Okay. Well, the CP stands for cerebral palsy, and what cerebral palsy is, the actual definition, it's a lack of oxygen to the brain. It's a birth defect that happens either during, after, or before childbirth. It's a lack of oxygen to the brain. Depending on the oxygen deficiency, it can affect you from head to toe. It can affect every muscle in the body. Speech, motor skills, fine motor skills, spasticity, swallowing. It all depends on the severity and how long the oxygen was deviated from the brain.
Right. So I came up with a little bit of a couple questions here to ask you. Is cerebral palsy permanent, or are there any treatments available?
Okay. There are treatments, but there is no cure. It is permanent. Physical and occupational therapy can help. The more that you stretch and keep your body limber, and as far as speech is concerned, speech therapy, that kind of thing, if your speech is affected, speech therapy helps a lot. So if you think about it, the easiest way to fix something that doesn't work, a tired muscle needs to be strengthened. So as long as you strengthen those muscles, it over time, it will make a difference. Now the problem is the dedication to strengthening a weak muscle, because it depends on how weak the muscle actually is.
Right. All right. So it can get worse over time if, you don't try to help yourself.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah, you're correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that y'all have built worlds in here, to try to bring awareness to CP. Can you go into a little bit of detail about, the worlds you build and how you're trying to help people?
Goddess, you want to answer that one?
Okay, well, our Cerebral Palsy Awareness World, we had actually a few amazing people that actually helped us build it. And Pistolas was one of the main ones that actually helped us, and Mikey. And, well, pretty much what we're trying to do is, since it's so dear and to our hearts, we want to actually spread awareness to, because a lot of people think it's a disease and that you could catch it, and that if you have children, your children could have it. And it's not like that. It's not a disease. It's just a birth defect, and we're just human like everybody else. Pretty
Right.
much what we're trying to really bring to the table.
Absolutely.
So in our world, we have games and we have different things that help with CP and can affect CP in a positive way. There are voiceovers there to explain different things. My music is in the world. There's a bowling alley in the world. There's a football stadium in the world, an auditorium where we host events. You can sit in a wheelchair and go around a racetrack. You can fly with a motorcycle. You can go to the lake. We want to show people that just because you have CP or cerebral palsy is out there, that you're still able to live a productive, knowledgeable, educated life, and you can do anything you set your mind to. You just have to move forward and actually do it.
Right,
Correct.
right. And I know that in that world they do have copies of, you can hear his music that he makes. And also on her Facebook, she has the bracelets that she makes. And that money, does that money go to charities for CP or?
Yeah. Yes, 30%
Yes.
goes back
Mhm.
at the end of the year. Correct.
Correct.
Right, right. And let's see. Let me see what I had. So you have your worlds, we just went over that, how you have all sorts of things in there from even stretchers and different things that
Yes.
those, and those have voiceovers and things. That is a great world. You should check it out. I went there and I learned a lot. And you do host events there, don't you?
Correct.
Yes, our
Go
next
ahead.
event will be actually on March 25th, which is actually Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day.
Oh, wonderful.
So we are actually doing that, but the month of March is actually really, the whole month is really actually dedicated to cerebral palsy awareness.
All right.
But they actually have just a specific day, which is March 25th, and that's one of the days we will be doing the event.
All right.
And we try to host our events usually twice a month. We do them every week. Sometimes it's once a month, depending on how busy that we are.
I think Spargirl has a
Spar,
question.
did you have a question? You're on mute, by the way.
Thank you, because I probably wouldn't have got the question out. I just wanted to make a comment. I wasn't in here for the whole thing, and you maybe already said so, but I've met a lot of people in here that have cerebral palsy and that are in wheelchairs and things that have really benefited from having the headset. Do you find that the people talk about that, and you're picking up more people that are aware of that ability to?
Can you repeat your question? It was a little hard to hear you.
Okay. There's a lot of people that come in here and benefit from using this headset because they have, handicaps. They're in wheelchairs and cerebral palsy, those kind of things. Do you see that? Are you able to get that out to the community in local areas that people could come in here and that would be an opportunity for them to be social? And
That's a great question. That's a cool thing about virtual reality. With virtual reality, the what you can do is basically limitless. I mean, you can go pretty much anywhere in the world and invite someone to your podcast. You can invite them to your world. You can show them. We have found more that since we've created the only CP awareness world in the multiverse, that more and more people, even the younger generation, excuse me, are coming into the world. Kids are asking questions. They're getting more and more comfortable with each event. And to see a child light up, to understand that it's okay to ask questions and it's okay to talk to someone with cerebral palsy or learn from them, that is a great benefit of the headset. I mean, to be able to use it and spread the word about cerebral palsy, but learn the different diversities of people. And, everybody has problems. And if we, unite as one family and show them, hey, just because you have a problem doesn't mean it can't be solved or changed to make your life better.
Right. Absolutely.
Hope that answered the question that you had.
But if you don't already, do you care if they follow you or do y'all
Yes,
follow?
they could follow us.
Sure,
Yes.
you guys can follow us, no problem.
Um,
When I first entered virtual reality, somebody asked me that, and I thought they meant literally follow me, and I'm like, okay, that's a little bit creepy. I'm gonna have to say no on that.
right? Oh, yeah. For the people
Yeah,
watching, go ahead.
we both actually have spastic cerebral palsy, which for me it actually affects my waist down, which I could walk a little bit, but I have a lot of balance issues, and I'm a toe walker. I've had surgery before to try to correct that, to help me put my feet flat to walk, but my my brain doesn't really connect to my feet per se to tell me to put my feet down. So, like, the most comfortable way that I learned how to walk was on my toes. But my husband, he can't walk. He actually uses a wheelchair. But I use my wheelchair for distance.
So to kind of to bounce off of what she said, if you think about Morse code, and your brain is trying to send a message to a certain part of the body. What happens is the effect of CP is you get dit 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 dit, and it stops. So you're getting part of the message to where the leg will try to do what you want it to do, or the arm will try to do what you want it to do, but sometimes the other arm will go up. Sometimes the head will follow. It's basically broken messages to the brain to where it's spliced up, and it takes a while to get a message to the brain, and you have to do what's called patterning to break the choppiness. Like, for instance, when I was little, when one leg would come up, both legs would come up, and both arms. So my mom and my aunts would take turn bicycling one leg, one arm, one leg, one arm, up, down, up, down. 8 hours off, 8 hours on, 24 hours a day for 5 days. It took 5 days to break that pattern. CP is relentless. It's a butt kicker, but you gotta put your shoes on, put your cleats on, dig into the ground, and really get in there and fight for what you want. If you don't advocate for yourself, if you don't take therapy, if you don't take speech therapy when you're affected or what you're affected by, CP can grab a hold and not let go.
Right.
Correct.
And I know you said there are, 5 different types of
There are five
Yes.
different types, yes.
different types. But for the people watching on YouTube, they have pictures of all the stuff they make. He has a podcast on YouTube, correct? And that
Yes.
is My CP Does Not Define Me up on that wall.
Correct.
And everything on there, they have pictures and all the information you have on your card on the couches. But I will put all this information in the details of this video. But thank you so much for, being here today and, letting us know about CP and how it affects you and, just educating us in general about CP. I think you're great individuals, and it's great what you're doing by
Thank you.
building these worlds. I think it's touching. It touches me a lot. Like you're inspiring me and other people. And I hope, hopefully with this podcast or with your podcast or other podcasts you've been on, you can touch people.
We hope so. That's what we try to do on an everyday basis.
Right.
The more we get the word out, and the more we talk to people, um, and the more we make them aware, I think what we're trying to stop is the misinformation. The rough part about it is even the doctors are giving misinformation. Well, if you have CP, your child's going to have it. Not necessarily. Um, CP is genetic. No, it's not. It's it's a birth defect, and you've got doctors wearing white coats going through medical school presenting misinformation. And when this happens, and somebody gets a hold of the information and they think they know, it makes it 10 times harder to go, no, that's not correct. Well, my doctor told me that. Well, I don't care what your doctor told you. I've got the disability. I've lived with it since I was 43 years old.
Right.
So it's tough when you have people that are pulling when you're trying to push forward, and it's kind of a two steps forward, one step forward, two steps back.
Right. Right. Yeah, thanks for letting us know that, because anyone who's watching this video and maybe they have a child with CP and they're not fully, informed, this will definitely help. Definitely. And they can contact you. I know you email. Can they contact you by email?
Yeah, the easiest way to contact us is through our YouTube channel, My CP Does Not Define Me, or our Facebook, which is also, we have a like page, My CP Does Not Define Me. You can email us at carterdj85@gmail.com. Also, any of the with a lot of the things that Goddess does with the making of the bracelets and the personal paintings, and we do customs. I mean, she is an artist. She's done some beautiful work, and so have I. We do custom paintings for people. Those emails that we gave and those websites that we gave, you can contact us there for those as well.
And now YouTube, that we make the bracelets and keychains and everything else possibly that you could think of. It's actually called Kimiku's.
I think I have that one right
And-
here on your card.
Yep.
Yes.
Here's all the information. Make sure get on there.
Yeah. And we actually just updated our YouTube about, I would say,
About 3 days ago.
3 days ago. So you'll see all the new bracelets we made. We made all new leather bracelets for the guys. Everything is like amazing of what we do. And like we said, 30% goes back at the end of the year.
Right. Very neat. Very. But.
And if you want to contact me on my email, it's actually johnsonkimberly935@gmail.com.
Any questions? And you'll feel free to answer those questions, right? You can answer them.
Yes,
Oh,
of
sure.
course.
If we've got any
course.
on YouTube that are watching on YouTube, ask. The only way you're going to find out an answer is to ask.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Right. So if if no one has any questions, Lori, do you have a question or? Oh, we can't hear you. Oh. We can't hear you, Lori. Yeah, there you go.
I'm live on my Facebook when I came in, so I wanted to stay in case it was something somebody else on my page needed to
Okay.
hear.
Thank you
worries.
so
Very much.
much.
Thank you so much.
But I'll make sure to sponsor your worlds in the bio of the YouTube channel. Have all that information in there for you guys to look at. If we've missed anything or any topics, I'm sure they have tons of videos about any questions. If they don't, feel free to email them or get in touch with them on YouTube. But
If you guys want to take a tour of the world, or anybody wants to take a tour of the world, come in and we can set that up. I'll be glad to go through it and show you around. Again, knowledge is power, and when you use the knowledge for good, you can do a lot of great things.
Right,
Correct.
definitely. But if no one else has any questions, we can start to end it. Um, anyone, Shelley, do you have a question or? Oh, we can't hear you. I don't know if you're.
Come
There
up
you go.
to the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All I can think of is what I heard today is that they may be trying to end Medicaid, which is probably, I assume, a lot or many must use that resource for in this.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to get your take on it. And
Well, the thing about it is, we've only got one system, and a lot of people use Medicaid, especially, those that are disabled, because medical equipment is not cheap. The average chair, power chair, is $20,000 to $30,000. Manual wheelchairs run from 3,000 to as much as 15 to 20,000. Most of the parts are made overseas. So ending that, is going to hurt a lot of people, but we've got to advocate for ourselves and we got to fight. One person can make a difference and the squeaky wheel can get the oil. But what we have to do is push through to Congress and talk to your congressman about why ending Medicaid is wrong, because we can't afford and a handy. I'm lucky enough, by the grace of God, to have a handicapped vehicle. Mine was donated to me. It was a 2006, and when I got it, it only had 18,000 miles on it. The people that donated it, their daughter, who had a disability, passed away, and she only took it to church on Sunday, and it was just barely driven. So again, by the grace of God, I got a vehicle, and it's a 2006, and I keep it maintained. It only has 43,000 miles on it right now. But a vehicle like that costs anywhere from $60,000 to $71,000 because of the equipment that they put in it and because of the conversions. People don't realize, on top of the insurances, on top of the braces that we need, the medical. I mean, we can build up a $50,000 medical bill like that. And Medicaid, most of the time, if you don't make too much through Social Security and go through Medicare like we do, we have to pay a 20% copay on our medical equipment. Now, you may not think 20% is a lot, but when you spend, $20,000 on a wheelchair, that's $2,000 in copay. I mean, and if we don't have it, it's even more difficult to scrounge up and live. So they take Medicaid away from us, then they're going to mess with Medicare. What are we supposed to do?
Right.
oh, I agree, 100%. That's y'all have to make that noise.
And
Yep.
all the stuff,
Senators.
yeah, and all the stuff that is actually in our world with the standards, the walkers, the crutches, the wheelchairs, is stuff that we actually have used or using because of surgeries. I know I had about between 10 and 15 surgeries on my legs alone just to try to do stuff,
Oh my.
just so I could get my legs strengthened and everything else. So I know how it is to, be stretched out and the pain that we've gone through and everything else.
And I will mention one thing about surgery. Guys, be really careful with surgeries, because when a child has a surgery and they're still growing, unless the surgery is direly needed, I recommend that you don't get the surgery until the child is finished growing. Now, that's not to say if the surgery is needed and the doctor says you need to get this now, get a second opinion, but go with your physician. But try your best not to have the surgery done until the child is finished growing. And you'll notice now that a lot of doctors are waiting to perform surgeries. I've had 8 or 9 on my legs alone, and hamstrings and heel cord releases are great. But the problem is, if you don't keep them stretched and you don't stick to a program, they tighten right back up, and you get the same problem.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Makes sense. Yeah. So that can be a chronic pain kind of a
Yeah.
thing too. Hey,
Oh, yes, on a daily basis.
gotcha.
Yeah, that's chronic pain is one of the most common side effects of cerebral palsy. And people think of pain as, oh, this hurts. No, you get a cramp in your leg and then you get a muscle
Get over
spasm.
it.
Yeah, your muscle spasm is a cramp times about 10. And then when your leg locks up and starts doing clonus, which is shaking back and forth, then your breathing is sped up because you're hurting so bad. I mean, there's a lot involved
Oh yeah,
in the chronic
cortisol is
pain.
released, and yeah, helps age you a little faster. Oh,
Yeah, but
that's
and see the problem with cortisone is it's great for the first couple of months.
cortisol. I said
Cortisone, yeah,
yeah.
cortisone. What it does, they don't tell you, is it masks the symptoms. It's not
Oh yeah,
solving the problem. It's masking the symptoms. So in
really.
6 months, you got to go and get another injection or two. Or the first one usually lasts 6 months to 2 years.
Right.
After 2 years, you're like, man, my knees are great. And then all of a sudden, you get this little twinge. You're like, crap. Oh, what was that? And it starts
Well,
back, and you're like, dang, on it. Now I got to go. So I've never had a cortisone shot. I fear needles. Call me what you want, but you ain't sticking no needle in my knee. No.
Oh, yeah.
I have arthritis, and I've had cortisone shots in both knees. Nowadays, they only last a month, and then 2 months I have to wait, and then I can get another one.
But you can only get so many per
yeah,
year.
only up to 4 per year. And the other problem is it can cause osteoporosis.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's
OS
what
is
it
one of the when you have to look at. I don't usually promote other people's stuff, but I'm going to. There's something that I've found and I've researched and I looked into, and I think this is
I need to get a battery in my chargers. My Oculus is dying.
Okay.
Be right back.
Okay.
one of the greatest things that I've found is I believe the powder is called Kickstart. It's either Kick Butt or Kickstart. It's made by Chuck Norris, the martial arts world champion. I'm a black belt in martial arts as well. I've been studying for almost 16 years. Well, almost 20 years now. But Kickstart is all natural. It's a powder that you dissolve in water. You take it once a day, and once or twice a day. And I believe the bottle is like $49.95, but it's